Today in this class we are going to study about Khilji Dynasty, and in this you are going to study about Alauddin Khinji, about his military conquest, that is Deccan policy, administrative reforms, military reforms and economic reforms. Okay. In the previous class I had told you that Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder of this dynasty. Jalaluddin, he was 70 years when he ascended the throne. And it is said that he is a very good person, that he is kind and generous. And it was in the year 1290, his nephew and son-in-law called as Alauddin Khinji murdered, and he captured the throne from him. So now let us know about Alauddin Khinji. Alauddin Khinji, actually he grew up under the protection of Jalaluddin Khinji. And during his childhood, he was a very good warrior and served as a governor and also as the military general. So as a military general under Jalaluddin, he invaded Malwa, Devagiri and plundered a lot of wealth. And it is said that in the year 1296, he defeated Raja Ramachandra of Devagiri and also returned with a lot of wealth. Okay, and Jalaluddin, who was so pleased of this, he went to Allahabad to receive him personally. So it was here, unexpected, Jalaluddin was murdered by Alauddin Khinji. Okay, and later Alauddin Khinji defeated and imprisoned his two sons, that is his two sons of Jalaluddin, and proclaimed himself as the ruler of Delhi in the year 1296. And in order, when he ascended the throne, his people, that is his ministers and his nobles, did not accept him as a ruler. Okay, and in order to win over these nobles, he distributed the wealth that he had captured from the Devagiri, and thus he won them to accept his supremacy. Okay, this Alauddin Khinji was it has been said that he is a very good ruler, that means best and the most successful ruler of the Delhi. And according to some historians, we come to know that he also had a wish, that is like Alexander, to conquer the whole world, but it was not happened so. Now let us know about his military conquest. One of his first expedition he undertook was the capture, that means to conquer the Gujarat in the year 1297. It is said that Alauddin with his general, he marched with a large army and conquered Gujarat, Malwa and Mewar, and he also conquered the fort of Ranthambore and Chittor. And it is also said that the famous Somanath temple was also raided during his time. And there is also sources which says that it is here, that is in the one of the market, a Hindu slave called as a Mallikapur was purchased, that is bought. Okay, and later this Mallikapur will become a great general of Alauddin Khinji, and he will Alauddin Khinji, he will raise him to the position of the general. And Mallikapur led a series of raids in the Deccan, and it is said that he had captured Devagiri, and he defeated the rulers of Warangal, rulers of Dwarasamudra and Mysore. Okay, Mallikapur was also very it is said that he also proceeded up to Madurai and Rameshwaram, and he plundered and looted many temples. Thus, after having conquered the whole South India, he returned to Delhi with a huge booty. Now let us know about Alauddin's Deccan policy. Alauddin was a very good statesman. That is, he tried to realize that the south was very far off and it is difficult to rule. and it was pointless also to annex these territories to his empire. So he made the Rajas, that is the Rajas of South, as his feudators and took tribute from them. So like this, he was able to maintain a vast army and develop an efficient administration. So this is his Deccan policy. And next, about his administrative reforms, he was not only a good administrator but also very good accomplished statesman also. That is, he had undertook various administrative reforms in order to control the vast empire. So to meet the expenses of his empire and to meet the huge army, he had to find the ways to collect the revenues. So what did he do? He confiscated all the land, that means the free lands that was being given to the priests and other government officials. So this is one of the steps that he followed in order to get the money, okay, to maintain the huge army. And secondly, the officials were forbidden, that means to collect the taxes from the peasant, and insisted the peasants to pay the tax revenue directly to the king. So this is also another way to see that is a treasury to be filled and avoid the corruption in the administration. Khilji also tried to prevent a conspiracy among the nobles. So for this, he banned alcohol, drugs and associations, and he also banned association formation among the lieutenants and their association with the general public, and to even to attend the marriages among the elite class of people were also being banned. This is his administrative reforms. And also he insisted the farmers with the minor holding, that means the people who are holding the small land as well as the large landlord, they have to pay the taxes. And in order to collect the tax, he had also appointed the officials. They are officials, and these officials have to collect the taxes from the farmers. Okay, and this is about the administrative reforms. Now let us see about his military. Now let us know about his military reforms. He had well-equipped army and also had made a lot of improvement in the army. And he had appointed the defense minister, and his task is to recruit the soldiers, supply the arms and horses whenever it is needed. Okay. And he also had took the measure to see that the salary of the soldiers were paid on in cash at the last day of the month, and also maintain hulia. Hulia means a document, that means a system of record which was being maintained to the individual soldiers. Okay, and during his time there was also a system called as a dhag, that means a system of branding the horses. So these are some of his military reforms. Now let us know about his market reforms. The most prominent aspect in the economic reform was his market reform. Okay, he is the first person who regulated the market. That means he has set up various reforms in the market. Like he had established a different market for the food grains, and also separate market for the horses, cattle, and also separate market for the imported goods. Okay, like this he had established different markets to the different commodities for the people. Okay, and even the weight and the balance of the merchants were also checked regularly. Okay, and prices of the essential commodities were fixed, so that it should be seen that it is not being raised, and prices of the commodity also should not be increased or decreased without the permission of the ruler. And he also made an arrangement to see that a large quantity of grains, okay, to be used in time of the period. It means excess of food grains were hoarded, and granaries were also being established. Okay, and he also appointed officials also to check the corruption and also to regulate the market. And the name of the officer was Shan-e-Mandi. Okay, Shan-e-Mandi was an officer who was been appointed by Alauddin Khinji to check the market. Okay, coming to his economic reforms and price control measure, prices of the essential commodities were kept low only. Okay, in case if anybody violate these norms, they were punished very severely. And the taxes in the fertile land was fixed. That means they have to pay the half of their total produce. Okay, land revenue was fixed and collected strictly. Okay, Alauddin was the first ruler to adopt all these measures. So thus we can conclude by saying that he was not only a conqueror, efficient administrator, but also suppressed all who challenged his authority. His economic policy is also praiseworthy. It is not only considered him as a very good person who had maintained a large army, but also protected his subject. And it is said that after his death, his general Malik Kafur placed his son, that is minor son, and in the name of he placed his minor son and on the throne and tried to rule in his name. But later Malik Kafur and his son, that means his Alauddin's son, minor son, were killed, and thus in 1320 the last Khilji ruler was killed by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq and laid the foundation of the Tughlaq dynasty.